What's up, Levi?
Sam, nice to see
Oh
you.
man. So you've started countless of companies. I don't know how many agencies. I've lost count. You have started also wellness, e-commerce brands. How do you actually manage to not just create, but also manage multiple successful businesses at the same time?
It's a great question. Well, it's not me managing the businesses, to be honest. So I do have to give a lot of credit to all of my business partners. Right now we have 5 different businesses, 2 brands, 2 agencies, and 1 logistics center. And I'm actually in charge of none of these. So I've been able to co-found or incentivize other people to fund these companies with me. And essentially, I have an operator for each company, and I'm more of a coach and advisor. And together, we're making the decisions, the bigger strategy decisions. Maybe I'm funneling some leads towards their way, but they're in charge of the companies, and I'm more of a guiding person for each of them.
And you said you have like 7 business partners, right? I'm sure you've had good and bad experiences. How do you find, the right business partner and maintain a good relationship with them over time where all incentives are truly aligned?
Yeah, it's tricky. I think it's about not being too greedy with equity. I think it's about having a good product market fit so that you actually have a cake where you can share from. And well, whenever you let's say you want to find a business partner, I would look at people and their track record, because people are oddly consistent. You see if someone's done something previously, maybe they have a habit towards one way or another. It's likely that they're gonna follow that same pattern. I think another thing, I would look for high integrity, high energy, and overall positive people as business partners. And I think this greediness is also like a really important factor. Yeah, that's it. And then making sure that the incentives are aligned, as you said. So everyone needs to be incentivized. Recently, we just had a situation where we had an operator running the Nordic side of an e-commerce email marketing agency that I have. And he wasn't incentivized in terms of equity. And he was doing such a great job that we essentially decided to make him a partner, because we wanted to retain him in the company. And we knew that he was such a good talent that he would have left the company for sure and started his own thing, or someone would have recruited him or something. So not being greedy and kind of sharing, making a big pie that you can share multiple pieces from.
I mean, some people may listen to this and they're like, what? You just build a company, you bring in an operator, and then all you have to do is just coach your team from time to time. Maybe it sounds easier, easier said than done. How do you actually go through this process and make it in a way that people in your team are still okay with you just purely being the coach in that way, right? And I think on top of it, maybe this can be the next question really, but one of the things that people struggle with the most is working on the business. Like, how do you actually go from being in the day-to-day operations to actually overseeing things, which is kind of what you have accomplished, right? So can you take us through that process?
Well, yeah, as you said, it's definitely not where you would start from normally. You need to have leverage in order to do this. You need to have something that the other party doesn't in order for you to kind of be able to coach them and then them do the dirty, quote unquote, dirty work. For me, it was 8 years of running my own agency and kind of growing that. It was having my own e-commerce brands and growing that. And then until I reached the point where I was like, okay, I have enough leverage that me actually doing the job that needs to be done is less of a kind of a positive impact than me hiring someone to do it for me and kind of guiding that. So, and doing that at scale. So instead of running one company, and now I have multiple ones, and then I'm only able to kind of participate where I can use the most leverage in terms of strategy or funneling in leads or hiring someone. Like, I'm involved in these big decisions and let the day-to-day kind of grinding, more in-depth operations tasks for someone else.
And again, this still sounds easier said than done, right? One thing is to bring in the right talent. That's already a huge challenge in and of itself. Then the other thing is, oh, they're just going to do the day-to-day work. But the day-to-day work is still a lot of micro decisions. It's still making sure that the people have a clear target. They know what needs to be done, right? So do you have any specific systems to make sure that all the people in your teams are not just like headless chickens running around without any clear direction? And maybe you use OKRs, maybe you use other frameworks. How do you actually make that happen?
I think it's about giving them the responsibility of a certain task. So making it extremely clear that what is in their area of responsibility and what's expected. So let's say someone's a CEO of an agency of mine. They have the responsibility for revenue, for profitability, for employee happiness, for client retention. And then I'm going to provide all of the resources that they need in order to do these, but they have the accountability and responsibility for these things. So I think clarity is extremely key here. And then obviously, I'm not going to downplay the importance of having just incredible business partners. I've been fortunate enough to find incredible people to run my companies or co-run them with me. And I think that has been just exposing myself to a large number of people and being high integrity and high performance myself. And then kind of being someone who people want to be affiliated with. And then not being greedy with the equity. So just sharing the pie, and the partnering up in a business is all about being more than 2, like 1 + 1 = 2. It should be essentially 1 + 1 equals something that's above what you would be like separately.
Do you have any formula for splitting up equity?
I think it's important if you want to have a control over a company, you obviously need to have over 50%. But I wouldn't be greedy. So, for example, I don't have any specific type of formula. I'm a very intuitive person. And for example, now that we gave equity to this person that's leading the Nordic department for the agency, we were straight up giving him almost 50% of the company. Because he has most of the responsibility, and we're going to be able to tell him that, hey, here's what we set out to do together. You weren't able to achieve this. And then oftentimes, okay, here's a nugget. Oftentimes we're aligning the goals and strategy that we set out together with a vesting schedule and kind of these cliff periods. So if you're not able to hit the targets that we set together, you're not able to get the equity that we decided for you to, that you're allowed to get.
So you work a lot with metrics, like some very clear metrics that you just constantly check on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly basis, and you make sure that they align really towards this specific goal. Then you jump in for specific decisions that are really important and really move the needle. And I mean, I fully agree with you. For example, I just finished reading Good to Great. It's this guy that just studied thousands of companies to try to identify what made some of them stand out from other ones, and established 5 clear, I think it was 5 or a bunch of principles. And I think the second one was first who, then what. Right? Most people start a company thinking, okay, I need to go here, and therefore I need to hire these people. And what he identified was that the best teams, start with who, and then the what kind of came afterwards. Because at the end of the day, you start with an idea, and it always changes along the way. So,
yeah.
100%. Cool, man. So my last question to you. Who are you? Who is Leevi? Just a quick introduction, and then I'd love to know, as one of the OG Karisma members and now Karisma Select member as well, what's one of the most valuable things you've gotten from this? Maybe, you have a specific story, a highlight. Maybe you met the love of your life. Maybe you found a business partner. Curious to know.
Well, I'm Leevi. I am now a serial entrepreneur in the e-commerce space. I have 2 agencies, 2 brands, and 1 3PL logistics center. And I am very interested in elevating the collective consciousness of humankind, and that's probably the next thing that I want to be focusing on. And about Karisma, I think Karisma has been wonderful, especially for me to elevate my network here in Barcelona, but also in Dubai, in Bali. And so network is for sure my number one thing. And then I was able to expose myself to things that I wasn't kind of looking for by being part of this community and attending these events, that have, been able to, help me grow as a person. So they've been kind of like a push towards this growth that I didn't know how to look for. So,
I mean, your body is definitely a great example of that.
well, yeah, maybe that as well. But I think more like spiritual growth and business growth that I wasn't looking for specifically.
For sure, man. Man, so happy to have shared this journey with you.
Yeah.
So many things yet to come, and super excited to see you just growing and really also making a huge impact on the people around you and hopefully worldwide very soon as well. Legend. Thank you, man.
Thank you.